Welcome back, everybody, to the Renaissance Human podcast. In today's episode, I will be discussing what to be expected during the Ukraine war of winter 2023 and 2024. The Ukrainians initially, in February 2022, launched an invasion of Ukraine from the east and from the north through Belarus with the target of reaching Kiev. Due to internal corruption within the Russian military, the invasion became a farce. Mechanized units such as tank units and other forms of transportation, they couldn't get to Kiev because there wasn't enough fuel available, not enough logistics available, such as food, to keep the Russian military moving into Ukraine. Because of that, the Ukrainians won the first phase of the war, and the Russians had to withdraw back into Belarus and retreat into eastern Ukraine due to these internal failures and corruption. Now the Russians are being forced to use siege tactics because if they cannot defeat the Ukrainian military on the battlefield, they have to defeat the Ukrainians by attrition. The Russians have the numbers to do this. They also have the willingness and political will to actually starve the Ukrainians out and make them freeze to death during winter. That's why during the winter of 2022 and 2023, rather than targeting their food supplies, they targeted Ukrainian energy sources. That way, the Ukrainians would freeze to death, and it would mean that there'd be power outages, and the elderly would die, the young would die, and people that are the most vulnerable would die during the winter. And that's what we can be expecting during the winter of 2023 and 2024. There's also the Ukrainians being threatened by the Russians, with the Russians targeting uh, Ukrainian grain stores to let them gain income from their grain, as well as shipping their grain to the rest of the world, which benefits Russia, who is also one of the world's biggest grain suppliers. According to Edward Zerin, the head of the Russian Union of Grain Export, cited potential aggression, what he called hidden sanctions that may lead to an increase in freight insurance and insurance costs. This will be reflected in the price level of wheat and other grains worldwide. Again, according to Edward Zerin, that's Zenin. Given some perspective on the importance of Russian grain, Russia is the largest wheat exporter in the world, followed by Canada and the United States. Three countries export more than 200 million tons of wheat, Russia, Canada, and the United States. Russia accounts for nearly 24% of the top 20 largest wheat exporters. To secure the supply, the best option, though it may be unrealistic for the Ukrainians, is to build transportation networks between Western Europe, Eastern Europe, and the Ukrainian grain. That may become not possible due to with the American political party, Democrats and Republicans, being hotly divided over the subject of Ukraine. This is partly due to America going through an internal move around of its internal political sections. Within the United States, it's a two-party political system. That means if you're not part of one of those two parties, that means you'll be out of the political decision-making protest. And this happened before. Last time it happened was in the 1930s, with the flip from African Americans from Republicans to Democrats. And this is just part of the American political system. Left and right don't really have the real meaning because the parties do change. In the 19th century, the Republicans were the Liberal Party, and the Democrats were more of the Conservative Party. But that flipped in the 1930s, and that's why American politics now is got so schizophrenic. And that's why the Americans might also be unreliable geopolitically and in international relations. Because of this reason, because the political parties just keep on changing around their factions, that makes them internally politically unreliable. I think this pretty much covers today's episode. I just leave a few comments now. I've had some comments as well. Your comments are much appreciated. I will try to make it more stick to the point in the future. But with this kind of content, I've got to do this work within 2 hours. I've got to write the script and then get this out quickly as possible. So please bear with me as the audience grows, as I get more viewership, and start to generate some revenue from the actual content creation process. It means I can invest more time in creating my content and get the software, better equipment, and just build up the podcast slowly. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and thank you for your time. And I wish you all a fantastic week. And take care and peace out.